Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
I'm just connecting my headphones.
Okay, very good, very good. No problem.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, okay. I can hear through my headphones now. All right.
How's your day?
It's been great.
Fantastic.
Search for my notepad.
How was the homework? Did you get a chance to do the homework?
No.
Um, okay. Um, yeah, I know your schedule's pretty loaded. So, we'll go over the assignment today. But today we're introducing Project One. So it'd be very good if you had the first assignment or assignment six done, so you can have an easy time with project one. At least do project assignment two. Assignment two is building on project one. So if you haven't done assignment two, we'll go over it today. Try and do assignment two first, and then I'll help you on that if you need any help. Because today we're going to learn project one. And project one basically is just like an extension of assignment two.
Uh,
So
but the but the thing is, I have when is project one? When are you
it's
doing that?
it's today. We're going to introduce project one today.
Okay, and when are we going to end project one?
Project one is going to be 2 weeks long. So I'll give you guys 2 weeks to do it. Because it's a
Yeah.
very,
So in the next 2 weeks, I have state testing though.
oh, when is your state testing over?
On the 18th.
Oh, I see. Wow. Oh, okay. If that is so, that project one is due on the 20th. So you'll have,
Okay, yeah, I'll have
yeah,
2 days to do it then.
I can help you on Friday, on that Friday or that Saturday morning on project one, because it's due on the 20th. So yeah, I know you have a lot
Oh.
going on. Definitely focus on your schoolwork. Um, but these assignments, for at least the people who go to chosen generation, it's very critical for them because they need to be able to build and maintain the website by like May. So they have like a time crunch on how to, learning this stuff.
Let's see if no one's here.
Yeah, it takes them a while to show up. So we'll wait for like 5 minutes. In the meantime, let me share my screen.
I've got my notepad ready.
You got what?
I have my notepad ready.
Okay, very good, very good, fantastic.
Also, just a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would like to share my screen for a second.
Yeah, yeah. Let me make you the host. Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so with this thing, do we keep this part that's highlighted?
Yes. So then you have to close the form properly because you have an open tag for the form, but you want to close that form tag. Um, don't forget to close the form tag, right? Because you have
Oh, did I not do it well?
so you have form, the very first line, you see how you have a form tag?
Yes.
Now at the very end of everything, you have to close that form tag. No, leave that alone. But at the very end of everything, the very last line, you have to close that form tag. Um,
That's not supposed to.
so
Okay.
remember
Oh,
the
that's
very,
an opening tag. Okay.
yeah, remember the very beginning? How do you do a closing form tag?
Uh, it's this
Yes,
slash. No,
that's,
that's
and then what's after that?
The
uh
form tag,
the
form
the
element.
very first thing.
So if it's a closing form tag, it's just going to be the word form. So it's just going to look
Yeah, that's
exactly
what I
like
was
the
gonna
opening
say.
form tag, except it's going to have that forward slash at the beginning. So to do a closing form tag, all you have to do is write, yeah, but now that's inside the button. You did that inside the button tag. So that's inside the button tag. You want to put
So
the,
do I?
yeah, you want to close the button tag. That's good. But actually, you don't need to really close. You haven't properly closed the opening button tag because notice you have an opening bracket. Where's your close bracket for that button tag?
After this one?
No, it's going to be after the attributes. You have on click, that's an attribute. So it's going to be after the on click attribute.
So I would have.
No, it's going to be after the on click attribute. You set on click is equal to alert count value. That's fine.
Oh,
At the
yeah.
very end of the attribute, yeah. After
So right here.
no, after the quotes, because that's a closing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I forgot about that.
that's fine.
There you go. So what's
That's
with
fine.
this?
And then get rid of all that. Yeah. Um, that's one way of doing it. The proper way of doing it is, let me just quickly share your share, take control of your screen. Let me request remote
All
control.
right. Wait, how do I see when you do it?
Let me see. I should be able to request remote control.
I think you can. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't let me request remote control.
I can give you remote control. Let me do that. Oh man. Did I just mute you?
I unmuted
Okay, there you go.
myself. No worries.
Oh,
Okay, that's fine. I don't need remote control. What I want you to do is actually for the button tag, take away that forward slash, actually. That's one way of doing the closing button tag. But the proper way of doing it is actually to now, after that, put another open bracket, button, type button. Oh no, that's fine. Type button, close it. No. Just put the closing bracket. Now put that forward slash in the very beginning, right before button. There you go. So that's another way of doing a closing tag.
oh, like
Yeah,
the one
exactly.
here.
Yeah, you see it right
Okay.
there. Yeah. So that's another way of doing a closing button tag. But and then you have to give the button a name. Usually for buttons, you want to put the name in between the tags.
In between the what?
The tags.
Tags.
So after the
It's
closing,
these quote thingies.
no, that's the that quote is for the on-click attribute. So the end of the tag is right at the end of the bracket, the first bracket.
Oh, you.
Yeah, that's in the middle. Very good. And just put like click or something. Yeah, so that's the name of the button. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's how you give the button a name, is you put it in between the tags. So don't forget, but you're forgetting one thing again. So remember that form at the very beginning, you have an opening form tag on line 1.
Wait. Oh no.
So you see that
Okay, never
opening form
mind.
tag, you have to close that form tag. So what you can do is just at the very last line, like after the button line,
Yeah.
go to another line, hit enter. Now put a closing form tag.
That's
Fantastic. There you go. Now save it and run it. It should work. Yeah. So
I have to. All files.
anytime you have an opening form tag, you always have to have a closing tag after it. So you opened everything with the form, you have to close that form tag officially. The only time you don't have to close it is if it's like an input.
All right. Let's see if it moves.
Fantastic.
And yeah,
That works perfectly. Okay,
it
so
still does the arithmetic thing. Though, right?
that's
Oh
fine.
no, it doesn't. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's all you need for the I believe that assignments though. So let me message the chosen generation folks to see why they're late because we need to start getting we need to move on. Okay, so we'll give chosen generation people a few minutes to join. Let me reclaim the host.
I already gave it back to you.
Okay, all right, very good. Let me share my screen in that case. Not much time today. So I'll put the link for today's slides in the chat so you guys can start reviewing today's slides. All right, so we'll just wait like a minute, one more minute. Moni, is your brother arrive? Is your brother coming to class today? Moni? Moni, do you know if he's busy? Okay, all right. So we'll wait for either of them to arrive, and then we'll start. We'll just wait one more minute. Okay. All right, we'll get started. So today we'll introduce project one. So today is a very important day because project one is very it's it's going to be the first project where we'll start just to build stuff, and then we'll build on the logic from project one. If you can confidently complete project one, you have a solid logic understanding, well enough understanding of the logic to start designing. Then we'll start focus on design. So web development is very challenging because you have to be able to be good at logical reasoning and graphic design. So you have to have both skills. You have to be able to graphically design things, and you have to be able to be good at logical reasoning. So that's why it's very rare to find people who are good at web development, because those are two sides of your different sides of your brains. Most people are either good at design or they're good at logic. Very few people are good at both, but you have to be good at both in web development. So today we'll sort of start ending the logic portion of HTML, and we'll start getting into the design portion. All right, so I sent the slides in chat. Everyone should have a copy of the slides. So this is assignment 6. we introduced assignment 6 last. Hopefully, every time everyone got a chance to finish assignment 6. So for this assignment, every time you click on the count button on this page, it increments the number of clicks. So all you have to do is create this simple counter. It looks like the one on the slide. When you click on the counter button, it should have your name at the top first of all, and then it should have a field labeled number of clicks. And then when you click on the button, count or go, then it should add a one to the value in the input. Every time you click on count, it should add a one to the value of the count. And this is due today. So if you have not had a chance to complete that assignment, please try and do so. So assignment 6 is very, very important. We're going to build on assignment 6 today for project 1. And again, thank you for everyone who's diligently working on these assignments. These assignments are linear, so they're building on top of each other a lot. Okay, so this is assignment 6. Let me just quickly. So now today, we're going to review assignment 2 first of all. So assignment 2, we did a long time ago. I'm going to go ahead and, Ade, I'm going to mute you really quickly if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So today, we're going to look at assignment 2. Everyone should have already done assignment 2. So this should be very easy, but if you have not done assignment 2, this assignment, project 1, is going to be difficult because it assumes you already know how to do assignment 2. We're just going to be building on our assignment 2. So all grades should be current now, by the way. So if you check the grade book and you click on update, all your grades should be current right now. So make sure you check your grade book and click on update, and you should see all your current grades if you've been completing the assignments. So everyone should already have the code working for assignment 2, which is the weekly budget assignment. I mentioned back then that we would add complexity to that assignment later on. So today is when we're going to add that complexity. When you were working on assignment 2, you noticed we were manually adding the total spending, and we were manually adding these numbers into the budget. So nothing is wrong with manually adding those numbers, but it's not efficient. And it requires a lot of work to maintain when we have updates to the budget. So in real life, if you have like a budget table like that, you want to be able to enter any value into the spending and have it automatically do your calculation for you. So that's what we're going to build today for project 1. So in general, we're always trying to minimize the amount of work we want to do to maintain things in computing. We don't want to spend a lot of time maintaining things. We don't want to have to hard code things. We want the user to be able to enter data and all the coding to just happen automatically. So, yeah, we want to do as little work as possible to maintain things. So right now you can see that the spending in this table is static. So the spending is not changing. It's just a read-only table right now. We're going to change that today. So we'll start by changing the values in the spending to inputs, and then that way you'll be able to easily change the value as needed. And then we'll proceed from there. Before we start live coding today, I want everyone to learn how to actually write HTML on your phone, because over the week, I learned that there's a way you can actually write HTML on your Android phone or on your iPhone. So there's a couple of apps that I want everyone to download. If you have an Android phone, I want you to download the app Webcode. So let me go ahead and well, I already have it on my phone. So let me join my phone and I'll show you guys how to do it. And if you're on Apple, I want you to download this app called Coder, K with a K, code editor. So if you have an iPhone, I want you to try and download this app. In the meantime, if you have an Android phone, I want you to download this app, Webcode. So I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen on my phone. I'll show you that process. Okay, very good. So I'm not going to use audio. Um, so I don't get the echo. I'll just turn off my audio. Anyway, that's fine. Let me just go ahead and share my screen on my phone. Uh, okay, let me see. Let me make myself the host. Okay, very good. So now let me share my screen. Okay, very good. So everyone can see my screen. Here's the app web code. So to download this, you just go, if you have an Android phone, go to your Play Store and then search for web code and then just search. And then you want to download the one that says, notice I already have it installed. In your list of apps that come up, you should see it in the list. So you won't see it here because I already have it installed. But the maker of this is Aleph. It's made by this company called Aleph. So you want to download this app, web code HTML CSS IDE. So once you've downloaded it, you click on open to open it. And this is what it looks like, the interface. So it's very, very easy to use. To create a new file, you just click on the three lines in the top left, and you click on new, and then HTML file. And then I'll just give it a name. Leave the path in storage emulated 0. By the way, that's just going to be, I'll show you, that's an easy path for you to leave it as, because it's just like the very main path of your main folder. So I'll just call this budget or something, budget.html. I'll click on create. So by default, when you use this app, it's going to give you all this code, which is like the template code that you should, a lot of people have when they write HTML. We talked about this in the beginning. You don't need all of this for this class, but it gives you an idea of what normally HTML is structured like. Like you see the body tag, you see the head, you see the doc type at the very top. You don't need to actually give doc type for web code, so you can delete all of this. And you can just start typing code by just on your phone. To get the open brackets, you have to click on the equal sign, and then the open bracket is right before the space bar. So that's an open bracket, and I'll just do a simple H1, and then I'll do a closing bracket, which is on the opposite side of the space bar, and then it automatically closes the tag for you, which is nice. On this app, it automatically closes the tag for you, so you don't have to worry about that, and then I'll just type like hello. And then I'll run it. To run it, you just click on the play button at the top middle. When you click on that play button, it's going to run it for you, and you can see it ran the code. So and you can go back to editing it by clicking on the pencil, or you can go back to budget.html, that other file, and that's how you edit code. So that's how you use the Android app. Let me go ahead and now show you how you download the one on iPhone. Let me get my iPad really quickly, just a minute. So let me just join the meeting. Okay. So now I'm the host on my iPad. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Okay, very good. I think everyone can see my screen. So now on the iPad, the app is called, you go to your, Apple store and you search for Coder with a K. So the app is going to be called, let me move my picture out of the way. The app is going to be called on iPad or iPhone, Koder. You want to look for the app Coder, and here it is. It's made by this guy like Remy. But anyway, you want the icon that looks like the closing tag and the open tag for HTML. It has the icon that looks like HTML opening tag and the closing tag with a / in the middle. You want to download this, and then once you download it, you want to open it. And this is what it looks like. So this is what Coder looks like. It's very similar to web code, but it's a little bit more difficult to use. I'll show you the main thing that makes it difficult. The main thing that makes it difficult is, well, let me just show you how to make a new file. So on this, in order to make a new file, you want to click on the plus at the very bottom. You see this plus at the very bottom right? You click on the plus at the bottom right, and then you're going to be able to give it a new, oh, I'm sorry. No, the plus at the bottom left. So sorry. You want to tap the file. You want to make sure you tap the file first, the file on the left, that panel. Tap the file, and you notice there's a plus now in the bottom left. So that plus in the bottom left is how you create a new file. When I click on that plus, again, in order to get this, you have to be outside the text area. Notice when I'm in the text area, that plus is gone. When I click on the file name, that plus is back. So you want that plus in the lower left of the screen to be there. When I click on the plus, I'll be able to create a new file. And I want to select new file. And for the file name, I'll just go with the same thing, budget.html. And I'll click on create. Now, what's unique about this is that once you start editing budget, you can see that when you tap on it, you'll be able to edit it in the right. If I just do the same thing, like H1, hello, and I close it with another H1, and then I try to run this. To run this, it's similar to web code where all you have to do is sort of click on the play button. But in order to get the play button, you have to tap on the file again. So when I tap on the file, now you see this eye icon. It looks like a little eyeball. The eyeball in the middle of the screen, top right, when I tap on that eyeball, that's how I'm able to actually view the file. But notice it's just showing me the code. It's not actually running the code for me. That's because for some reason in Coder, you have to tell it explicitly that it's an HTML document. So let me close this. In Coder, for some reason, you have to explicitly tell it this is HTML that you're writing. So at the very beginning, you have to use the exclamation and then write doc type HTML. You have to explicitly tell it this is HTML code, and then you have to do an HTML closing tag, and this is what's going to allow you to actually run the HTML code. So without that, it's gonna show you the code. Now, if I save it, and I run it again, I tap on the eyeball. Notice it actually runs the HTML. So that's the difference with Coder, is you have to actually tell it. If you have VS Studio, that's fine, but this is how you actually run it on Android or iPhone. So if you have a phone, you can run it on your Android or iPhone, because some people don't have like a laptop. That's why I'm just going over this. If you don't have access to a laptop, this is how you can actually do HTML code on your phone. But if you have access to a laptop, then you can use a text editor just like you've been doing so far. But people have been struggling to actually do the code on their phone or on their laptop. So this is why I wanted to show you another way you can do it on just by having a phone. So that's how you run code in Coder on iPhones or Android or iPhones or iPads. So it's very similar to web code on Android, except at the very beginning, you have to have that doc type HTML line. And then obviously you want to close it at the very end. So, okay. So now let me go ahead and go back to the slides. Flame host. I need to make myself the host on this thing. Okay, very good. So let me share my screen. So that's how you do HTML on an iPhone or on on an iPad or iPhone. So there's two ways. You have to have two separate apps, unfortunately, because iPhone and Android are not always compatible. They don't always talk to each other well. So okay, very good. So now let's go ahead and start writing the code for assignment 2. So assignment 2 again. So this is the what it looks like again for an iPhone. So we already went over that. So now this is the code for assignment 2. So assignment 2, you already did this. It's a lot of code, but everyone should already have it. So today we're going to modify assignment 2. So in order to modify assignment 2, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the spending for each day. Instead of using static values like we're doing right now, where you can see in the purple, we hard-coded 20, 35, 20, 50, 10, 15, and 15. We don't want to hard-code these values. We want to have the user provide any values they want. So we're going to change this, and it's going to look like this. Instead of hard values, we're going to change them to inputs. We're going to, instead of each TD, we're going to replace it with an input, and we're going to give that name. It's going to match the name of the actual column that we're using. So here, the first column is for Monday, so I just gave it a name of Mon, M-O-N. The next column is for Tuesday, so I just gave it a name of T-U-E, and then so on and so forth. For Wednesday, it's just Wed, W-E-D. So I just gave it a name, a very short name. It's always a good idea to give your inputs a name, so you can easily access the value of those inputs later on. So I'll just go ahead and show you how I do this in Notepad. So let me open up a new Notepad. All right. So I just opened up a new Notepad. So I'm going to go ahead and first of all, save this as an HTML document, and I'll call it budget.html, and I'll save it as all files on my desktop. It's already on my desktop. Very good. And I'll save that. Now I'm just going to go ahead and basically write this code that's already there. So first thing is you want to write table. Everyone who did assignment 2, you should already have this code. But I'm just going over it again in case you did not do assignment 2. So I'm just copying the code that's in this slide. Style equals border, collapse, and then collapse. And that's going to give us a collapsing border for our table. And then we want a head. Style. We want to style that head. We want to give it a background. The background is going to be, the color is going to be just EF, EF, EF in hex code. That's going to be the background color. And then we'll close that head tag. And then we'll start with the row tag now. And then for our row tag, we'll have, or after our row tag, actually, we'll go ahead and do a header, a row head. So to do a row head, you just do TR or TH. And then we'll give that an attribute of call span equals 8. So again, this is assignment 2. You can just refer to assignment 2 or copy this code on this slide in order to get this running. So, and then I'll close that head tag. So that's closed. So now I'll close the row. So that's closed. And now I'll close the head or the oh, where's my opening head tag? Oh, this is supposed to be a T. So this is supposed to be table head. And then let me close that now at the very bottom. So yeah, anytime you see like a closing tag and you don't see an opening, then you made a mistake. the matches it. Always, there's always, if you see a closing T head, there always has to be a matching opening tag somewhere anyway. So that's how you close the header. Now we'll go ahead and do the, we'll also close the, we'll create a new row. And then we'll create a new blank head row, because for this assignment, if you remember, the first row actually has like a blank cell, because we have like multiple. If you let me just go back one slide and show you guys. So a couple of slides and show you. Notice this first row is blank for the budget. So there's this first blank row that we have to create. So that's what I'm doing right now. So we have to have like a blank row underneath the heading row. So that's why this blank row is there. Anyway, so let's go ahead and create that. So we're gonna have a blank after the first row. We're gonna have a blank heading row, TH, and then there's gonna be nothing inside of that. So we're just gonna close that tag. And then we'll have our Monday column, which is gonna be a TH. We're gonna give it a scope. We don't have to give it a scope of column. That's always a good idea for just like for screen readers, but we don't need to focus on that now for the sake of time. I'll just do a TH and then I'll close it for Monday. And now I can just copy and paste this for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oops. Control copy, or that's fine. I'll just right click and I'll just copy it. And I'll do this 7 times because we have 7 columns. That's 5. This is 6. I believe this is 7. So now we'll change Monday to Tuesday. Change this to Wednesday. We'll change this to Thursday. Change this to Friday. Saturday. We'll change to Sunday. Now, we're done with our row headings. We'll close that first row. So now we've closed the first row. Now we'll do another row. This is going to be our spending row. So we'll open up another row. And then now we're going to give it a heading, TH. And again, we don't need to have a scope. We'll just call that spending. And then we'll do a closing TH. Someone have a question? Okay, so we'll close that heading row. And now, like I said before, we're gonna have our actual cells for each day of the month or each day of the week. So I'll just do a TD, and then I'll close that TD. And actually, within that TD, I'll do an input, just like it shows in this slide. Let me go ahead and progress the slides. Yeah, just like it shows in this slide. I'll do an input, and I'll give it a name of Monday, or just MON for short. And then I'll close that input. For an input, you don't have to do this for inputs, by the way. Again, for inputs, they're unique. All you need to do is put actually the closing bracket to close it off. But then I have to close up my TD. So that does require a /. And then I'll just copy and paste that for 7 more times. Copy that. And I'll do that 7 times. And 1 more time. Very good. Now I'll give the name. I'll change the name of each day. This is going to be Tuesday. This is going to be Wednesday. This is going to be Thursday. It's going to be Friday. It'll be Saturday. It's going to be Sunday. Okay, so now I'll close that row. Oh, I'll close the row with the closing tag. And now my final row is going to be the total spending row. So I'll open up a new row. And then I'll give it a row heading, TH. And then the row heading is going to be called total spending for each day. And I'll close that row heading. And now I'll just hard code the row, the totals. I'm just going to hard code the totals. So the first one, I'll just do $20. That's fine. And I'll close that T, and I'll just copy that and paste that 7 times. And then I'll adjust the values after the fact. So I'll just paste that 7 times. Now I'll change the values. I think I have for Tuesday, I have $55, and then I have $75 for Wednesday and then for I have $125 for next one. And then I think I have 135. And then I have 150. And then I have 165. And for this last column, what I did was I made it bold. You don't have to make it bold. For the sake of time, I won't make it bold. I'll just leave it alone. And then I'll close off that row. And then I'll close the whole table. And then I believe that should be it. So that should be it for assignment 2. This is what it should look like. Let's save it. And let's go ahead and open it up in the web browser. So we should be able to just go to our desktop and do budget, like C:// Yeah, so or let me not cheat. Let me just do it the easy way. Let me go to my file manager, and let me go to where's my file manager? Here's my file manager. Let me go to desktop, and here's the budget.html, and I'll just drag that into I can just double click on it, but it's a Firefox file. I want it to open specifically in this browser. So I'll just drag it up until I see like the arrow next to the plus. You guys can't see that, but I'll just drop it on the browser and it's going to open it for me. So you can see that that's what it should look like. Very good. You can see that now I can adjust these values as I need. For some reason, it didn't do the color of my top border. Let me fix that really quickly. So that color should not be white. Background EF, that's correct. Oh, I forgot the equal sign. So style equals background and then colon EF. So very easy to forget, make those mistakes. So style should equal background for my style attribute. Now if I refresh, very good, I should see my background color. Now, as you can see, the inputs are very big. So this is not very nice. And notice I can type like very, very long inputs for my Monday spending. And the same thing for my Tuesday spending. I can have like extremely long values. So I don't want that. I don't like that. I don't like how wide it is. So what I need to do now is we're almost there. I want to control the width of these inputs. I don't like the fact that I can have like infinitely long values for Monday spending and Wednesday spending. So the way I'm going to do that, let me go back to the slides, is we're going to do something like this. We're going to say size is equal to 4, and we're going to give it a max length of 4. So the size equals 4 is going to actually shrink down the width of the input. Notice it's very wide. By giving a size equals 4, it's going to shrink down the input for us. And then by setting the attribute max length equal to 4, it's going to only allow us to have 4 characters inside of that input. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. So we're going to set for the inputs for Monday, we're going to do size equals 4. And that's going to fix the width of the input. And then we want max length equals 4. And that's going to actually not allow more than 4 characters inside of the input. And let me go ahead and now save that. Let me just show you what it looks like for one column. So if I refresh now, notice how Monday, the input is less wide. And now if I try to type more than 4 values, it doesn't let me type more than 4. So it gives us a maximum length of 4 characters inside that input. So that looks nice. So I want to just do that for the rest of the inputs. Tuesday, I'm still able to type like very, very long values. So that's not good. So, and I want it to be not that wide. So let me do the same thing for the remaining columns. So I'll just copy that. And I'll paste it for the remaining columns. And now I'll save. And now if I refresh, now it looks nice. It looks a lot nicer now. Now if I type, values, it maxes me out at 4 characters. And yeah, it just looks nice. So, okay, we're almost done. So now our budget table looks decent. So now let's go back to the next thing we're going to try and do is now make sure that it automatically calculates the total. So notice right now the total is hard-coded. Obviously, the total is not correct right now because every time we have to go into the code and hard-code the total. We don't want to hard-code the total. We want that total to be automatically calculated for us. The total spending row, we want it to be automatically calculated for us. So how do we do that? Now we're going to call upon what we know from assignment 6. So this is what it should look like, by the way. This is what we have so far. And now we want to basically do the same thing, first of all, to the spending cells. We want to make sure that they're inputs, so they're not going to be static values. We'll first change them to inputs, and then we'll do the actual logic after the fact. So let's go ahead and do step 1. Let's change them into inputs. And you can see in this slide, that's what we've done. So for the spending row, notice now we have inputs instead of hard values. So we have for the first one, input name is equal to Monday, and I just gave it, because this is the total now, I gave it mon_tot. So like Monday total. So that's the name that I gave it. You can give it any name you want, but I gave it Monday total with MON underline and then TOT. And I gave it a size equals 4. I don't need to set the max length for the total spending because this is going to be automatically calculated. So the length is never going to exceed a certain amount anyway, because it's going to be automatically calculated. So I don't need to set max length. I just need to set the size of the input. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'll take away the hard-coded values now, and I'll replace them with inputs. And I'll give it a name for Monday. It's going to be Monday total, or MONTOT. And then size, I want the size to be also equal to 4. So I don't want the input to be too long or too wide. And then I'll go ahead and copy that for the remaining. Let me close the input. And I'll copy that and paste that for the remaining columns, because it's going to be almost the same thing, except I'm just going to change Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday, etc. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just paste that. I'll replace that. I'll replace this. I'll replace this. I'll replace this. And now replace this. Very good. So now let me go ahead and change the name of the inputs to Tuesday for Tuesday, Wednesday for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So now I'll go ahead and save. Now, if I run this, I should have something that looks better and very good. So I have something that looks like this. Now, if I, this is fine. So nothing is being automatically calculated, as you can see, but everything looks
Oh.
good. Go ahead.
Oh no. Because when I was in there, when I ran it, it didn't do much.
Oh, share your screen. Go ahead and share your screen. Let me see what's going on.
All right. It's the same thing that you have,
Let me see.
and for some reason I'm able to type in it.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen.
Yeah. So after I ran it through the Visual Studio, then if I go here, it doesn't. And yeah, that's it.
What's the issue?
There was no issue.
Oh, yeah, this looks fine. But I would go ahead and notice how you don't have the table in the side of a border. Go back to your code really quickly. Okay, you're using Visual Studio. You can use Notepad, but that's fine. That's okay if you want to use Visual Studio.
Yeah, I
So
prefer to
now,
use this.
okay, so let me see. So go to the very top. Notice border, you spelled border incorrectly. Border is spelled B-O-R-D-E-R.
Uh,
Very good.
but now it's saying there's an error.
No. Table border equals 1. Style equals border collapse. No, that should be fine.
Right.
Yeah. Save that.
Wait, I need to get rid of that first. All right.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah. So now it looks correct. Yeah. So there's no issue with that. So now it looks correct. Yeah, you're fine. So good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. Or let me make sure I'm the host. Let me share my screen. Okay, so everyone should have this. Now we'll go ahead and actually start doing the automatic calculation. So the first thing we want to do, now that we have everything looking okay, is we want to add a button at the very end. So we want to add a button that's going to actually automatically calculate everything for us when we click on that button. And then, very importantly, oh, let me go forward. Very importantly, we want to put everything inside of a form. So why do we want to put everything inside of a form? Okay, that may be a little bit advanced. So
Yeah.
so when do we do the project? Yes, when you do the project, I want the max length to be 4. I want the max length to be 4. So the reason why we put everything inside of a form is because we want to access the values of the inputs. And you can't access the value of an input unless it's inside of a form. I think we talked about that last time, but that's why the whole thing has to be inside of a form. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's put the whole table. Let me just make it a little bit big so everyone can see. The whole table now is going to be inside of a form. So at the very beginning, first line, I'm just going to do a form tag, opening form tag. And now at the very last line of everything, I'm going to do a closing form tag. So everything is now inside of a form. And then right before that closing tag, I want to put a button that's going to be used to calculate everything. So I want to put a button. And then I want to make sure the type is equal to button because I don't want it to submit the data. Whenever you have a button inside of a form, it's going to try to
Oh,
submit the
that's
data
not
to a
right.
server. So you don't want it to do that. I just want it to act like a regular button. So I'll set the attribute of type equals button to do that. And then I want to call the button, I'll just call it like calc. That's fine. You can call it whatever you want. Or sum. Let's just call it sum. And then we'll close the button. And I will save. And now let's go back and look at our code. And now we have this. We have the sum button. So what we want to be able to do every time we click on sum, it should automatically calculate our sum for the total spending. So basically right now, if we click on 45, 454, if we put money or values inside of the daily spending, it's not going to do anything for us if we click on sum. Whenever we click on sum, we want it to automatically add up these values for us. So let's go back to our code. Now, from our last assignment in assignment 6, we know how to get how to do summation with a button. So we did that for assignment 6. Let's go ahead and continue and see how we do that again. So in order to do that, we're going to use the on-click attribute of the button, just like we did for assignment 6. And now we're going to set the Monday total value equal to the Monday value. And very importantly, we're going to parse this to be an integer because we don't want it to be text. Again, like for assignment 6, if we don't put that, if we don't use that parseInt function, it's going to assume we want text. We don't want text, we want actually integer values. So to get integer values, we have to use the function parseInt, and then we have to put everything inside that parseInt to force it to be an actual integer instead of just text. So let's go ahead and do that.
Wait, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so for my thing, the max value doesn't work.
Let me see your code. Are you sure you have max length equals 4?
Oh, I spelled it wrong.
Yeah, max length. If you use max length equal 4, that's going to force it to only have 4 characters.
It's GHT.
Yes, GHT.
I did spell it right then.
Is it still? You can share your screen. Let me see what you have.
Alright. So from this thing here.
Look how you spelled max length.
I thought it was GHT.
No, length is not spelled GH.
Oh.
Length is spelled GTH.
Yes.
GTH. Oh.
Yes, GTH. Okay, that's the issue. Okay, you can stop. Yeah, very good. So now it should work for you. Okay, very good. So I make the same mistake all the time. You always want to be very careful to spell things correctly. It's very easy to make a spelling mistake. So let me share my screen. Okay, so now we'll focus on the button logic. This is the main, the most difficult part. So now, how do we go ahead and do this logic? We'll start with the very first day. So let me make this very large so everyone can see. So again, we're going to use the on-click attribute just like we did for assignment 6. And then we're going to set on-click equal to the Monday total. First of all,
no.
put everything in double quotes. You want to do Monday total dot
Wait,
value.
but it's
That's going to be equal to Monday dot value, but this is going to give us the text value. So we don't want the text. We want to put this. We want the integer value. So to get the integer value, we put the whole thing inside of a parseInt with a capital I. We put the value inside of a parseInt, and this is going to give us now the actual value. We'll save this now. Now, if we go back to our code and we refresh, when we put 45 or whatever in these columns, and we click on sum, notice it gives us 45 in total spending. So if you did it correctly, when you click on sum now, it's going to give you whatever values in the spending row for Monday. So let me refresh again. So if I give it like 1,029, and then I give it whatever value Tuesday, it's not going to do anything for Tuesday or Wednesday yet. But when I click on sum now, it's going to automatically give me the value that I have for Monday, if you did it correctly. So again, we're going to set Monday total value here. Monday total value equal to the integer of Monday value. So that's going to be what our button does from now on when we click on it. So now let's go ahead and move on to the next day, Tuesday. So this is what it should look like so far. Anytime you have something in Monday and you click on sum, it's going to give you that value back for total spending on Monday. Now we want the total spending by Tuesday. This is more complicated because to get the total spending for Tuesday, we have to basically add another calculation for our button. Whenever we click on that button, we want it to do two calculations now. And I'll show you how to do that. The way we add a calculation is we have to first put a semicolon at the end of the first statement. Notice in this slide, there's a semicolon at the end of the first statement. So it's parse int Monday.value, and then there's a semicolon at the end of it. That semicolon is terminating the first statement. So we can now start writing another statement for Tuesday. If you don't put that semicolon, it's assuming the whole thing is for a Monday. So the semicolon basically says statement 1 is done. Now it's time for statement 2. A semicolon is how you terminate a statement in HTML. So for the Tuesday calculation, we'll begin a new statement. Now we're going to set the Tuesday total value equal to the Monday total value plus the Tuesday value, because we're trying to get the total on Tuesday. So that means we have to include what we had for Monday to get our total spending on Tuesday. So it's a little bit more complicated. For the Tuesday calculation, we have to do the Tuesday total plus the Monday total. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So first things first, now we're going to go back to our calculation. We're going to put a semicolon at the end of that first statement. So that's going to terminate the first statement for us. And now, let me just move this high. Let me just move this up. Now we want to go ahead and continue with our Tuesday calculation. So for Tuesday, we're going to do Tuesday total dot value equals, it's going to be now Monday total dot value plus, I'm just focusing on logic for now, plus Tuesday that value. So that's the logic. That logic is correct. Now we have to be mindful. Obviously, we want these to be integers again. So we're going to put everything inside of a parse int because we want the Monday value to be an integer. And then we want the Tuesday value to also be an integer. So we're going to put that inside of a parse int. Oops. So now we'll save that. And now if we save that and we run it, now let's try, I don't know, like 1,200 or 1,299. And then if we put something for Tuesday, like 54, or like, you know, and then we don't need to worry about Wednesday, but if we put that now, if we click on sum, notice now it gives us the sum of Monday and Tuesday. So it's giving us 129 or 1,299 plus 54. So it's giving us the sum of our spending by Tuesday. So if you did it correctly, when you click on sum now, it should sum the value from Monday and Tuesday together in your total spending row. Let me just show you again. If we have like 12 for Monday and we have 24 for Tuesday, we click on sum, it gives us 36 for the sum of Monday and Tuesday. So if you did it correctly, now Monday and Tuesday should be working fine. When you click on sum, it gives you the total spending for Monday and Tuesday. Now we want to continue that for Wednesday. And the Wednesday logic is going to be very similar to today's logic. So
A
this
quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this after the form tag?
this is inside of the button. So this is inside of the
Button.
on-click attribute of the button.
So the one before the form tag.
The closing form tag, not the opening form.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
the closing.
yes.
All right. Thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Mhm. And now we'll look at Wednesday now. So this is what you should have so far for Monday and Tuesday. And now we'll go to Wednesday. So for Wednesday, it's going to be similar. Again, we want to put that semicolon at the end of the Tuesday statement. And we'll start another statement for Wednesday. It's going to be similar now. Wednesday's total value is going to be equal to Tuesday's total value plus Wednesday's value. Because Tuesday's total value already includes Monday, so we don't have to include Monday again. We're just going to take the total by Tuesday, and we're going to add Wednesday's value to that. So, yeah, for the Wednesday, we just extend the logic we used for Tuesday. Again, to add another calculation for Wednesday, we have to put that semicolon at the end of the prior statement to terminate that statement. And yeah, Wednesday's total is going to be equal to the Tuesday total plus the Wednesday value. So let's go ahead and do that. No, when you do the project, the numbers don't need to be there already. So you don't need to work. You want the user to be able to enter any values they want, and then when they click on the sum button, you want it to dynamically calculate the summation. So good question. So now for the Wednesday statement, first of all, we're going to terminate the Tuesday statement, and I'm just going to do it on a new line because I can do it on a new line. It doesn't make a difference. So for the Wednesday statements, I'm going to do Wednesday total value equals parse int. Now it's going to be Tuesday's total value. And I'm going to close the parse int. And then plus, again, parse int. And this is going to be for the Wednesday value now. And that's how you do the Wednesday total. So I'll go ahead and save that now. If I go to my budget and I refresh, make it big. Now if I give it like a value of 50 for Monday, and then like 10 for Tuesday, and like 12 for Wednesday, and then I click on sum, it gives me the sum for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday underneath Wednesday. So 72 is 50 plus 10 plus 12. So very good. So it's working as expected. So now everyone should have to be up to this point where you have the total spending for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday working correctly, where all anyone has to do when they use your budget worksheet, they just need to put in a value for their spending on Monday. Say they spent, $12 on Monday, and then they spent $35 on Tuesday, then they spent, $50 on Wednesday. They should be able to now click on sum, and they get their total spending so far for each day, and then for all 3 days at the end of Wednesday, which is 97. Now we'll go ahead and yeah, so everyone should have this at this point, and we'll go ahead and introduce project one. So project one is just going to extend what we've demonstrated so far today. So you're just going to extend everything we've done so far in your weekly budget calculator. So now you're going to have a new weekly budget. It's going to be now automatically calculating the total spending for the entire week. So notice in this slide, I show you that you should be able to put in any value you want for spending for a Monday through Sunday, and then click on sum, and it should give you the total for the whole week, Monday through Sunday. So at the very end, here you have 207. That's the total for Monday spending, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I want you to go ahead and complete the whole week. And don't forget to give your name, put your name at the top of the budget this time. So here I have, it's David's weekly budget. Obviously, you're going to replace that with your name. And then make sure this calculation works. When you click on sum, it actually automatically calculates the total spending for the whole week based on whatever values the user inputs for Monday through Sunday for the spending. So that's project one. Again, I want only 4 digits allowed for the spending. I want you to enforce the four-digit rule. You don't want values that are bigger than 4 digits. You don't need to enforce it for the total spending because if you have 4 digits for spending, it might end up being like 5 digits for total spending. So you don't want to deal with that for total spending. That's fine. Just enforce a 4-digit maximum for spending only. So, okay, so project 1 is due not next Saturday, but the Saturday after next, because this is a little bit complicated. So I want you to take 2 weeks to get this working. It's going to be due on the Saturday after next at 5 p.m. So Saturday, April 20th by 5 p.m. So project 1 is due on Saturday, April 20th by 5 p.m. And again, I want you to put extra effort into this project because it's worth more points, first of all. And this code is going to be critical for project 2. Project 2 is going to be even more advanced, and it's going to be built heavily on project 1. So project 1 is very difficult already, or it's going to be a little bit more difficult than anything you've done so far. Project 2 is even more difficult, but if you did project 1, project 2 should be not that bad at all. So, all right, very good. So we made time. It's 8:08. Any questions? Okay, very good. So we're only 8 minutes after 8 o'clock, so that's very good. So I'll see you guys next Sunday. Next Sunday, we won't have an assignment, just work on project 1. We'll just go over the basics of project 2 next Sunday. We'll start doing design next Saturday. So this week, try to work on, make sure you understand assignment 2, and then start working on project 1. It's due in 2 weeks. Yeah, no worries. So, all right, everyone, have a good week. I'll see you next week. Saturday, my mistake. Saturday, I'll see you next Saturday.
All right, y'all.
All right, very good.